So, according to Marc Stein of the Stein line, the Kings and the Pacers are the front-running suitors for Cam Johnson, which is something that we have basically said this whole time. And the thing is these are the two deals that are on the table, and I bet you what is holding back the deals from being done is both teams aren't offering the draft pick compensation that the Nets would like. So, from my understanding, the two deals that are probably being offered as of right now are obviously everybody knows what the Kings are offering. This package is starting around Trey Lyles and Kevin Huerter, and you have to assume that the Kings aren't offering the draft picks that the Nets would like, while the Pacers are probably offering either Obi Toppin and Aaron Nesmith plus either Isaiah Jackson or James Wiseman or another small contract like that. As Cam Johnson's the hottest name and probably like the best player that is widely available for trade, as a guy who's having a career year. And this report is coming out with just under 3 weeks to the deadline. And the Cavs have shown interest, but it's been preliminary at best. And the only ones that have entered serious discussions are the Kings and the Pacers. So for me, when I look at this situation, and I said it earlier and I'll say it again, I think it's one of those that you look at it and I think it's obvious that if you're Cam Johnson or if you're the Pacers, I think the Pacers, if they're really trying to like go, if they feel like they have a window that they need to stick by and to take advantage, then I think Cam Johnson is the type of guy that you need to go after, because either you're reluctant to trade one of the guys like a Jarris Walker or an Isaiah Jackson or a Ben Shepherd, or you're reluctant to give up any more draft picks because you have done a good job at talent evaluation. However, the idea of just giving up Obi Toppin in this case, I would rather keep Aaron Nesmith and trade Obi Toppin, would be a move I think that is necessary to help raise this team's floor and ceiling. And at this point, look, Rick Carlisle is notorious for not playing young guys. You're not going to be developing these young guys like Jarris Walker if they're not going to be impact players similar to how Ben Shepherd was last year. But even now, Ben Shepherd's role got reduced with guys being healthy. On the flip side, I think the Kings are more desperate because they put themselves into a juxtaposition with the team that they built that's like they're kind of stuck in mediocrity and it doesn't fit. But if you bring in Cam Johnson, and I wonder if the Nets are asking for Keegan Murray, and if you're this, look, guys, if you're telling me you could get the deal done without trading any picks or trading minimal picks, and it just has to include Keegan Murray, I'm sorry, at this point, Keegan Murray, Kevin Huerter, and Trey Lyles, do not, if you can even get Deron Sharp in this deal, of Deron Sharp and Cam Johnson are better than those three guys. So for that being said, I think both teams are in a position that they need to make a move. And I think Cam Johnson is a guy who, regardless of what you think of him as a high level player, or like, obviously his stats are going to go down, but his shooting ability to play both combo forward, like he's a combo forward who can play both forward positions. So I think that's the biggest thing, is that, yeah, you get somebody who can do multiple things. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you guys think of all this? Yo, what's going on, guys? Quick little video before I go into this Miami Heat media availability, but today I wanted to talk about one of the rumors that we heard Jake Fisher put out, and that is the Bulls trading Patrick Williams, or being available for trade. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you guys expect from that and why? But let's get right into it. So, obviously, the Chicago Bulls are allegedly open to trading Patrick Williams, according to Jake Fisher. Let me hear your thoughts down below in the comment section. Like, subscribe. Let's get into it. They're 7-10, and obviously this team's looking like they're probably going to go into a rebuild. And Patrick Williams is a guy who was a lottery pick. He still has potential, but he basically has had the same stats all through his career, and even they're almost eerily similar to his stats from college. And he's a great defender, like a really good defender, can guard multiple positions. He's a 40% three-point shooter on low volume, but he's a guy that it seems like a lot of teams would be interested in having him. So Patrick Williams so far about just under 10 points a game, 5 rebounds, 2.5 assists. Now he's shooting 37% from the field, but 39% from three. And being 4th overall pick, it hasn't really, lived up to that potential. Despite playing, 29 minutes a night, he's shooting 51% true shooting, which is below league average. And he has had a guy who has had some injury setbacks. We know the foot surgery, and he's had just every year some sort of ailment has come up. And the Bulls already have Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic as guys that probably are on the trade block or they want to move. And LaVine's averaging 22 points a night. Vuce is averaging 20. And then Kobe White's over here averaging 19.5. And Kobe seems to be a guy that they really like and value. So it's really hard to justify keeping Patrick Williams, especially when the Bulls rank in the bottom in terms of opponent defensive rebounds. They're 25th, and in assists allowed, they're 27th. So he's really just not valuing there. And Jake Fisher labeled Williams as an attainable in the trade market, citing his upside as a former lottery pick. While obviously he hasn't fully tapped into his potential, I think the athletic profile being like a 6'7", 6'8" with a 7-foot wingspan and defensive versatility will give an inexpensive contract will give him interest. So although Fisher noted that Williams isn't on, we didn't really note teams' wish list. I think Golden State is a team that would really like him, especially with Jonathan Kuminga not signing that extension. If they don't want to lose Jonathan Kuminga uncompensated and they just rather go with somebody else because they extended Moses Moody, I think they would bring in Williams, have him be mentored by Draymond Green, and he already fits into Steve Kerr's switch-heavy scheme, and his ability to hit corner threes is going to be something that adds to their value. They don't need him to be a huge shooter. Now, the next one is obviously the Thunder's core. They've already done the deal for Josh Giddey, so this seems like they have a former relationship there in terms of negotiating a deal with one another. So I think Williams could take advantage of that situation. And if they want to get rid of Kenrick Williams or one of the guys who have been, kind of injured for them, I think putting Marc Daigneault, having a guy like Patrick Williams, especially with their positionless basketball, and without, the pressure of being in the Chicago media, I really think OKC would be great for him. Now, Mitch Johnson, aka Greg Popovich, has a reputation in San Antonio for developing guys. Obviously, Patrick Williams was compared to Kawhi Leonard, so why not put him in the same place where Kawhi Leonard was made, and that was San Antonio. And obviously, Victor Wembanyama is going to be commanding that attention. Imagine Keldon Johnson, Devin Sell, Patrick Williams, and Chris Paul as of right now, Would you trade Jeremy Sohan? I think Williams would be what you want Jeremy Sohan to be, but more efficient. Anderson scoring lights out, but it's not been efficient. Now, another guy is obviously the Miami Heat, which they have always turned overlooked players into stars. Under Eric Spoelstra, obviously, I think Patrick Williams' athleticism, defense would flourish in their switch-heavy scheme, and I think the Miami's culture would also push Williams to unlock the potential. Now, Williams' defensive upside, a guy who averages like a steal and almost a block a game, would obviously blossom under defensive-minded coaches. I think Eric Spoelstra, Steve Kerr would all like those guys, but as well as like the Knicks, Tom Thibodeau would love a guy like that. Taylor Jenkins with the Grizzlies would really like that intensity. However, I think a player development system like OKC or Miami or even Golden State would flourish in untapping whatever potential there still is there, as they've done a great job in just being able to give those resources to help develop players. And I think, again, guy being 6', 6'8", with the 7-foot wingspan and the athleticism that Williams has, he'll fit a lot of teams. And another team are the Sacramento Kings and the Atlanta Hawks, which they really like those faster paces. So I think it needs to be really, really important to see that. Like, I think a lot of teams are going to have interest in him. Now, I just think at the end of the day, when you look at this, the Bulls being kind of a rebuilding team, and with Patrick Williams basically having the same stats for his career, showing that he's a good defender, but I think the thing is he'll have interest either a team that are rebuilding, or for a team that is expected, or a team trying to, get more depth on a playoff team. So I think that's going to be the biggest thing, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. What do you guys expect and why? I think right here where you look at it, by trading Williams, the Bulls can get some draft assets, and I think Williams gets a fresh start that would better suit him for his growth or for whatever situation he'd like to be in right now, whether that's like a team like Golden State or OKC or Miami. I just think Williams has a chance to become more than just a what if player if he could just finally realize the lottery pick upside that he had when, you know, he came out of Florida State. So that's like my biggest thing right there, is just like trying to explain is like, hey, like this is a guy who could have, I don't know, I think it's a lot of people give him crap or act like he's not a good player. But I think really what just happened was the situation wasn't a good one. And it just, you look how long it took Kobe White to figure it out. It feels like it took him forever. And that wasn't his fault, okay? So, I mean, like, it is what it is. And sometimes things take longer than others. And maybe he might not become, obviously, I think Kawhi Leonard being like was an outlandish comparison. But it's still, like, there's the potential there. And he's shown that he can be a scorer. I don't know. I do find it interesting, and one of the things that I think is most wild about this is that we're looking at a place or a guy who is still fairly young. What is he, 23? I want to say, that's one thing I didn't even check. I want to say Patrick Williams was 19 when he came in, or 20. Like, the guy's like really young. I think he's my age, 24 at most. He's 23, bro. He just turned 23. Okay, he's 2 years younger than me, so the kid still got time, man. They're like, these guys are so young now. Yeah, that's where I'm going to leave this. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you made it to the end of the video, let me know your thoughts. If you had anything else, that's basically everything I had to say. I don't know what else we could talk about. I just want to milk this to the 8-minute marker. If you did make it to the end, like, comment, subscribe, do all that good jazz. It'll mean the world. We're going for 15,000 subscribers, then 20,000, whatever. Follow me on X, Blue Sky, same as this YouTube channel, and go check out my stuff at hoopshype.com. Peace out, guys. I love y'all.